Praise Jesus. Thank you for joining us today. Pastor Steve Cicolanti. We're coming to you from discoverchurch.online, and the Lord has sent me here to the United States a few times at very key, critical moments, and they have coincided with the two eclipses, 2 out of the 3 great American eclipses. And I want to just show you that and remind you about how this eclipse has put a mark on the continental United States, put an X right over it. So the first one came in August 21st, 2017, and just days before that, I was standing there in Houston, Texas, announcing it. Just literally hours and a few days after that, the place where I was completely flooded by the worst natural, costliest disaster in the United States. And I said, this is not a good omen. I often wondered, well, why didn't the Lord tell me exactly where it was going to be? You know what I mean? He put me there, and that's a prophetic thing, isn't it? Isaiah says that, behold, I and the children whom the Lord has given me, we are for signs and for wonders. So the very presence of a prophet often announces something. It's a prophetic thing. But I was kind of disappointed that I didn't know exactly where it was. And I said that, well, the one in 2024 is coming in April. That's just months away. And it's going to make an X right over the Madrid fault line. And we should be looking to some event, like an earthquake or something else that shakes the land in that Mississippi Madrid fault line region. But we got more revelation this year because we found out it's not just 2, but it's 3 great American solar eclipses. We say great because it crosses the continental United States, and it makes this pattern. Now, you've seen this on YouTube. I've shown this. It makes this a left or an A. And what now it tells us is that with that third line, it's right there. Texas is right there. X marks the spot. You just needed the third line to be able to see that, yep, there's where the Lord sent me to announce that this is an omen, a final warning to the United States. And then now with this pattern, if it holds, we know that, well, it looks like something is going to happen in Oregon or Washington. There's another X there. And then we've got the Madrid fault line and the Mississippi right there where it parts. So we're looking at 3 different things there.
We're in this zone right now where I spoke about nearly 6 years ago, I spoke about the warning God is giving. I believe the last warning that America has is the great American solar eclipses. And the first one crossed the continental United States on the 21st of August, 2017. And I was right there in Houston, Texas, saying, this is not a good sign. An eclipse, the sun, something bright, something that's giving life and energy and food to the whole world through photosynthesis, it gets darkened. It's always been an omen. It's always been a dark sign for the Gentiles. And the lunar eclipses are omens to the nation of Israel. That's how it's worked all through history. They don't all have meaning, but when they coincide with either Hebrew feasts or they write out something special, which I'm going to tell you, it's not only it's writing out an X over 7 years over America, it's doing something more than that. On the 8th of April, 2024, another total solar eclipse is going to cross the continental United States in an opposite way. So one's going this way, the other one's going that way. It produces an X right at the Madrid fault line in America, which is a subduction zone, an earthquake zone. It draws an X right over America. That's not good. You don't want a target on you. Watch any movie, you do not want to have a target on you. And it looks like, boom, there's a target right on America. But there is some kind of a hope. There's an allusion to hope in this because it turns out I'm going to give credit to Michael Snyder. He seems to be the first one going on the internet to share this image. There is another annular solar eclipse. So it's not a full total solar eclipse, but it's kind of like that ring eclipse. It's called annular solar eclipse. It's going to go from Oregon to Texas on the 14th of October this month. And because of that extra line, what it spells out is not just the X, like a target or like a cross, but it spells out the Aleph, which is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And that's what God calls himself. He says, I am the Aleph and the Taf, the Alpha and the Omega. And the letter Alpha is spelled out over the continental United States over 7 years. It takes God 7 years to write one letter. Think about that. I mean, just before we even get into the meaning of what this is, think about that. God takes 7 years from 2017 to 2023 or 2024 and writes one single letter that represents the ox, the strength of God, or the sacrifice of God. We just read about that. The sacrifice is Jesus Christ. The Alpha is Jesus Christ. And he puts that one letter over the greatest nation on earth, the nation that's supposed to be the most Christian, the most missionary producing nation on earth. And he writes one letter. What does that tell you? Number one, if nothing else, we should learn God is patient. God is patient. I don't think any one of us in human history has taken 7 years to write one letter. Number two, God is not verbose. If you're expecting an encyclopedia, you're expecting the whole A to Z plan of your life to be revealed before you will step out and obey God, you're mistaken. God is not verbose. He's not going to say a lot. And in this case, he says one letter, Aleph. There it is. Take it and read it. Aleph is spelled over America. I guess America would start out with Aleph. America is Aleph as well.